It's almost like if every TV, I don't know, something that we need to think about. If every TV has Android TV, if every single TV switches over, Amazon has their own TV with their own built-in OS onto it. If
Mhm.
every single TV said, you know what? Let's just say Samsung, Sony, Toshiba, Vizio, a lot of these big ones say, you know what? We're going to do Android TV onto our device. That's going to be the platform, the operating system that's going to run. That's what we're doing. Now you have you already have Apple iOS TVs, and then now what about Amazon? There's already Amazon OS TVs.
Yeah, and even August, OnePlus is going to do a global launch of their TV.
Can the Fire Stick is it to me? It almost seems like there can be an end. Not now, not yet. But if this is the direction that it's heading to, what do you
Mhm.
think? Do you think it could be the end of the Amazon Fire Stick?
You know, well, I mean, these are all speculations and
Right.
everything that we're doing, right? But I mean, I could see if all TVs in the future were side loadable, the dongles wouldn't make much sense. But in order for that to happen, I would need to see the minimum specs of 2 gigs of RAM, DDR4 in these TVs. I would need to see a minimum of 5 gigabytes of free space on the TV, right? I
Free
mean,
space.
free space.
Free,
That's what I'm saying. Not
just
of hard drive space. Like
not
some
just
companies will give you 8 gigs, but only give you 4 gigs of free space, right? I
right.
want to see 5 gigs of free space. And at the end of the day, my expectations would be set that I'm only going to be installing maybe 5 or 10 applications. That's it. I'm not going to try to game on these TVs. I'm not going to try to do anything crazy. I'm just going to try to stream. I'm going to use my typical apps. I'm going to have my players, my YouTube, all that kind of stuff. I don't need much more than that to do it. So if these TV manufacturers can hit those marks, right? They give me my 2 gigs of DDR4 RAM. They give me my 5 gigs of free space on the operating system, all that
Minimum.
kind of good stuff. Minimum. I'm able to side load. I mean, that's huge, right? Um, I think a remote is very important as well too, right? I mean, we can get third-party remotes, but in order to get that real fluid experience when you open up a brand new device, it has to come with a nice remote, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
And I think if they can hit all of that, then Amazon might start to make a bigger transition to their cube, right? Imagine instead of having the Fire Stick line and the Fire Cube line, they came out with a budget cube and a premium cube, like how you have the NVIDIA Shield,
Mm-hmm.
right? That
Yeah.
would be interesting. I think that would be interesting.
It could be. And maybe even if Android TV is going this direction, this could be I don't know. Like for me, it's almost like when we talk about cell phones and they had the pagers,
Hmm.
and then pagers went away because cell phones started doing so much more.
Hmm.
Now your TVs, you look at how far TVs have come around, and then now you've had these devices to stream Fire Sticks, Buzz TV Vid Sticks,
Yeah.
NVIDIA Shields, and potentially like if everything that you said, if the TVs do everything that you said, if they're like, you know what, we're gonna put a good processor in this TV,
Yeah.
we're gonna give you your memory, you know what, we're gonna give you 8 gigs minimum.
Hmm.
But I think all TVs have USB ports.
Yep, they do.
If you could put a USB in there and put a 16 terabyte of that B-Link thing that we talked about, 32 terabytes of memory.
Yeah.
If you could plug that in directly and have that as your warehouse for apps, for movies, for everything,
But I mean that's a NOS device though, Rojas. As long as you can install Plex on your TV, it doesn't need to be plugged into your B-Link.
right? And and that's the beauty of
Right.
where this can go to.
Hmm.
This could change a lot of things for a lot of people.
It could. I mean, it all
There could
depends
be.
on how these manufacturers give us the right products, right? And you said something that is interesting. You started mentioning cell phones, right? And I think that where we are at with cell phones right now, we've hit a nice comfortable plateau, right? The budget devices that are out right now, the mid tier that are a couple $100s, they're legitimately exactly what we need in a cell phone. Anything that's over, $400 or $500, you get into the premium market that you don't necessarily really need unless you're some kind of content creator, some kind of editor, something that's business minded, or something like that. But the average person that wants to use a phone as a phone can get away by paying, $200-300 on a cell phone. So if we've hit that kind of plateau in regards to performance and hardware on cell phones, then I think that the specs that I gave earlier is the same kind of plateau when it comes to basic streaming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
And
agree.
that could last a good 2-3 years.
Well, the lifespans of TVs, they're what, 5 to 10?
I think they were 5 to 10. I
Now
think
they might
that's
be pushing a little bit more.
no, I
Towards
think they're
10?
pushing a little bit less. It depends on how much you spend on a TV, though, right? For instance,
Oh, if you get a
um,
budget, TV, don't expect it to last a long time.
well, I mean, there's twofold, right? The first TV I bought it when I moved in here, I paid like $250 for it. And then as I upgrade, I moved that TV to another spot. So I bought my $400 Canadian Toshiba, and then that's my main one, right? And
Yeah.
then I want to get the next Toshiba that comes out because I like the FireTV operating system on it. That's just me. I'm going to move that one out to a different spot. And then you kind of just, you move up. But if you have the money to invest in a nice Samsung like you do, then go for it, right? It all depends on lifestyle, personal preference, where you at, and what you want from your entertainment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the other comment that I wanted to make, so that was hardware. And I said, if they give me those basics in hardware, it's performance-wise good enough to last me for a few years. And usually in the past, I've always said, don't get a smart TV, always get a dumb TV and then a smart device, right? Because something like that, because you can swap out the devices easier. But if they can give me those specs, I think I would be satisfied.